The French movie diva Catherine Deneuve has slammed the Me Too movement launched by her counterparts in Hollywood. You remember that the Golden Globes Awards this year featured Hollywood's top female stars like Meryl Streep and Daryl Hannah, all dressed in black. They declared that Hollywood was never going to see sexual exploitation of women by powerful male producers and directors anymore. But Europe is not the United States of America. Here, hashtag campaigns do not spread like viruses. Europeans have a different approach to life and sex. Along with 100 prominent French women have signed an open letter which was published in French daily Le Monde, which has outraged feminists around the world, more so because it is signed by a diva, who has been Marianne, the official face of France's national symbol of liberty in busts, posters and public campaigns. Ms. Deneuve, the 74-year-old diva, would have certainly seen her share of sexual advances during her multiple award-winning career. Yet, here are some of the provocative statements the letter responding to the Hollywood campaign contains. Ms. Deneuve acknowledges that rape must be awarded, the toughest punishment, but flirting, even if it's clumsy, it's nothing but normal male behavior. The letter also notes that opening doors, pulling chairs or other such small acts done by men for women are not necessarily patronizing. They are merely acceptable gestures of chivalry. Ms. Deneuve writes that just like witch hunting in medieval times, the Me Too campaign claims it to be for the greater good, for the protection and liberation of women. But what it is actually doing is to enslave them to a status of eternal victim and reduce them to defenseless prey of male chauvinist demons. The letter, signed by Ms. Deneuve, points out that the Me Too campaign has placed the flirtatious men in the same category as sex offenders. They were not given a chance to respond or defend themselves. Ms. Deneuve writes that this kind of arbitrary justice to send the pigs to be slaughtered will actually have the reverse effect. It will only confirm the views held by extremists that women are some other species and are meant to be protected. And joining us on this story, we have our Foreign Affairs Senior Editor, Padma Rao. Thank you very much, Padma, for joining us. Controversial, I would say, this statement, because there is a very, very thin line between chauvinism and a patronizing attitude and kind of an harassment and chivalry. So, how to define that?
Well, first of all, Daniel, we must make clear that WION has also stood by this line, so we are pleasantly surprised to see a personality as famous as Madame Catherine Deneuve come out with a similar statement. What we're saying is that rape is, of course, a very, very heinous and serious crime and deserves the strictest punishment, especially when rape is directed or committed upon minors. I mean, it absolutely deserves the strictest punishment, and there is no doubt about that. Having said that, human sexuality, what are we talking about? We're not talking about potatoes, tomatoes, a pound of bread. We're talking about human sexuality. We're talking about feelings, which are very, they're not tangible. You can't put them down. You can't quantify them. So what Mr. Deneuve is really saying is that by doing so, and by turning, or the American tendency rather, to turn everything into a hashtag, is actually proving detrimental to feminism. Because how did feminism begin? Feminism began by women demanding to be equal, the same, treated equally, exactly like men. Now, Ms. Deneuve, her reasoning is that if you, by demarcating women again as something special, as practically a new species which needs to be, handled with kid gloves, and special laws need to be made, you are practically pushing women back into the same old position of being something different to men. So this is one point Mr. Deneuve is making. Indeed, these 100 illustrious women have made in their letter, which was published in Le Monde.
And also, very well said by Ms. Catherine Deneuve, it has to be taken care of the fact that perpetrating this image of women as a weak segment of society, well, could actually incite a patronizing attitude. In fact, women should defend themselves and should improve themselves, and this is what we have a role as men in protecting women. We have the role of protecting the society, as women have the role to protect their society. Thank you very much, WION's Foreign Affairs Editor, Padma Rao. Thank you very much.